Archangel Michael. 23 Common Ascension Symptoms. Millions of people are now waking up and remembering. It was predetermined that humanity would do so at this time. Your dense physical bodies are slowly being prepared to reside in a higher dimensional environment in wondrous bodies filled with light. But the effects are very jarring in some ways. On the one hand, you'll get physical vibrations that are strange and sometimes feel uncomfortable. Your endocrine system may speed up or slow down, causing various effects on your hormones. You may have a sudden, strong feeling, and then it will be gone. You are high-energy transformers, like sponges in the energy sea around you. As more and more light becomes available to you, the intensity of electromagnetic energy around you also increases. Any changes in the surrounding energetic field are picked up by your subtle etheric body. This body acts as a receiver and as a transmitter of these energies. These changes take place in the etheric body first, and then gradually filter into the physical vessel. The changes are occurring gradually, however, they will speed up for those who have decided to brave the accelerated path of ascension during the era of great changes we are in the midst of. In essence, we are experiencing an inner battle between the light and shadow energies, internally, and in our outer world as well. The intensity and variety of the changes depend on the state of awareness, and the level of vibrational frequencies an individual is emitting. A lot of people are experiencing confusion as they begin to reorient themselves into a physical, spiritual, holistic perspective. Yet for many others, this has been going on for quite some time. Bear in mind that all forms of life on the planet, not just human life, but all forms of life, are, and will continue to be, affected by what we call an increase in intensity of creator light that is beaming directly into and around the auric field of the Earth. So even those we may look upon as less conscious, or perhaps even totally unconscious of the changes, are definitely being affected and will continue to be so. They are trying to understand why they are experiencing greater agitation, why various areas of their lives are no longer working, and why they have less control over their personal environment. Perhaps the most profound and noticeable change that many people have experienced lately is the need for more rest. Have you been feeling tired or listless lately? Your bodily systems are in overload, and Mother Earth's systems are also under great stress. Her body mass functions very much like your own body. Most people do not realize that the Mother Earth actually breathes in and out rhythmically. In surrendering to the process of change that is going on, within and on the Earth, and within your own bodies, you are releasing your own limited existence, your own limited desires, all that you have held close to you for a sense of security and a feeling of being nurtured. So much is happening, at very deep subconscious levels, as all discordant vibrational patterns slowly rise into your conscious awareness, in order to be transmuted into higher, more harmonious frequencies of light. You may feel overcome with sorrow, feeling you have lost something, or that you are leaving something behind, without having any idea of what it is. As you approach closer and closer to the final experience called ascension for this particular round of renewal, you will feel yourselves letting go of more and more things. Possessions, activities, and people with whom you are no longer compatible. During the process of cellular transformation, you may see or feel specific physical changes and/or sensations in your body, and witness them in the bodies of your companions on the spiritual path. We will address some of the major transformational symptoms thusly. Aches, pains and headaches. New aches and pains will appear in various places in the body, and then they will seem to magically disappear. Headaches and sudden shooting pains in the head or eyes may occur. These may be signs that adjustments are being made in your vibrational patterns. These adjustments will be attuning you to different frequencies during the cellular transformation process. The areas within your brain structure that have been dormant for a very long time are now being activated. This may require some rewiring of brain circuitry, while brain patterns that are no longer functional may be revised and rerouted. As you develop a more refined way of thinking and being, you will experience more creative abilities, and you will experience deeper levels of meditation. As transformation occurs, there may be periods when you feel more anxious and irritable than usual. You may also feel restless, headachy, and less able to concentrate. You may have an increased sensitivity to people, sounds, smells, and different environments. You may experience muscle soreness, particularly in the low back, joint pains, or poor digestion. When these areas are excessively stimulated, your body is constantly in a hyper state of fight or flight, and the body expends resources at tremendous rates of speed. The mutation process that you are presently undergoing has been initiated within the molecular structure of the brain. The progressive cycles of change are introduced to the rest of the body systems primarily through the cerebral spinal fluid and from there throughout the nervous system generally. This accounts for the pervasive sensations of disturbances within the head, eyes, spine, and nerves. It has resulted in dizziness, headaches, and pressure in the head, usually experienced from back to front, at other times, from side to side. It also accounts for considerable nervous disruption, sleeplessness and irregular energy surges and drops. Digestion may become erratic, and peculiar pains may come and go without warning in different parts of the body. Body cells? The tissues of your bodies are made up of cells. The cells consist of molecules, and progressively smaller units until the subatomic level is reached. With the encodings of the DNA, at the subatomic level, the templates or blueprints are formed for your bodies. There are changes being made at the deepest level of your bodily vessels as the Earth changes accelerate, and the possibility of a magnetic axis shift on the planet becomes more likely. These changes have been predicted for thousands of years. It is possible that during the period of an axis shift, certain types of behavior and past ways of arranging matter will no longer be available. At your material level, these changes will appear to be a rearrangement of matter. From a spiritual level, however, these changes relate to the growth of planetary awareness. The changes in your bodies will occur within the structure of your bodily cells as they undergo a gentle infusion of new, higher frequency, electromagnetic impulses. The human blueprint is slowly changing, and everyone's physical structure is being rewired and upgraded at the deepest cellular level, during this unprecedented transformational process called ascension. You are in the beginning stages of reclaiming your bodies of light. Among other things, this could be the cause of periods of exhaustion as your body goes through the radical remodeling and rebuilding process. While these changes are taking place within your body, we encourage you to relax and go with the flow. It is advisable to spend time in meditation, reading, enjoying nature and other uplifting activities, while this intense transformational process is underway. You are downloading new information into the trillions of cells within your physical vessels. From the beginning of your journey into density, there were crystalline memory seed atoms encoded within your original light body form, which were programmed to be activated during these historical times. More and more people are finding that they are drawn to a certain place, event, or to certain people. They find that being in that environment, whether with a particular person or in a specific place, will create a trigger action within the cellular memory. This seems to happen automatically or perhaps by coincidence. When we learn to follow our positive impulses, we are following our intuition whereby our soul or higher self is guiding us to a specific place, person, or event. There is a type of overlapping and a blending of many processes taking place as more of these memory seed atoms are activated at multiple levels throughout the body. The more we are in alignment with our sacred heart, sacred mind, and higher self, the more we will consciously be led to that which will trigger our cellular memory. This in turn will give you access to some of the higher frequency strands of your DNA. Your DNA holds the individualized expression of your divinity at all the multiple levels of your journey into density, as well as the divine blueprint for the totality of your true self, your mighty I Am presence. The more consciously you are in alignment with the changes that are taking place, the more you will be the captain of your ship, directing and orchestrating the changes within yourself so that you may become a way shower and a world server for the masses. Universal law provides that the physical form for divine life expression of a species may be altered or reformatted only by those who dwell within the body. This means that the DNA of a species of Earth can only be altered through the creative choice of the consciousness that dwells within the bodily form. This has been tried at various times in your ancient past history, however, it was never successful, for the altered patterns of DNA were never passed on to a subsequent generation. What this means is that the human DNA which is responsible for every aspect of your physical presence cannot be altered by other beings, nor can it be changed by you from outside of the physical plane. How do you change your own DNA? In order to alter or access higher levels of your DNA so that you may make positive, structural body changes, you must elevate your emotional, mental, and physical frequency patterns. You must refine your energetic signature and your soul song so that you are attuned to at least the mid-level, fourth-dimensional frequencies or higher in order to change your biochemistry. It means you may experience headaches and nausea sometimes, as well as dizziness, feelings of spinning and a loss of emotional centering. During a cellular transformation, your body will experience a constant flow of discarded proteins as your cerebrospinal fluid is being filled with discarded mineral deposits. You are literally discarding elements of your dense bodily structure so that it can be recreated with light-filled, more refined substance. These changes may be very intense, and they may be very challenging for you during the sloughing off process. You could be called the genetic masterminds of the new root race species. If you agree, and you are willing and ready to go through the process, you must rearrange, rebuild, and activate more strands of your own DNA. You must love and accept the bodily form that you chose to experience in this lifetime, and you must be willing to experience whatever it takes to facilitate the changes while you exist in your present physical form. There are many people who have already begun this process, and who are well on the path of transformation and ascension. Changes in body color. During cellular transformation, repigmentation of the body may occur. Many different kinds of unusual marks, round, red, white, etc., will appear on the skin of young people as well as on the skin of some with older bodies. This is a temporary repigmentation process that will allow the skin to re-establish its true purpose. The skin is an organ that functions as a bridge between heavy, dense matter of the body and less dense matter of the auric field of the body. Within 25 years, a slight darkening of even the lightest skinned people will occur. This relates to the blood cell membranes being enriched by oxygen, allowing blood cells to move in greater numbers and with greater velocity through the capillary system, which will be closer to the surface of the skin. Changes in body shape. You are completing a time loop in your spiritual growth which has allowed you to explore some matters in depth. This time loop is now coming to an end, and your body is beginning to change shape as you close that time loop. As you return to your original time sequence, you will go back through what you have been in the past. Some people might notice that their skull feels like it is expanding, and many will have headaches during these transformational modifications. It will feel almost as if someone is trying to force your head into a different shape. Changes in body shape will happen slowly over time. Currently the changes that are taking place are happening on the inside of the body within the infrastructure in the following places. A. In the cellular system in the blood. B. In the central nervous system. C. In the bone marrow. D. In the brain's patterning, and how it is radiating and receiving information from the realms of light. These are the changes that are occurring now, and for many this creates confusion because they feel that something is going on, but they cannot see it in the mirror. They look in the mirror and see that they are very much the person they were 5 or 10 years ago. They don't seem to have any fewer wrinkles and they may not seem to be any healthier. This creates a bit of confusion because they know they are working very consciously and very hard on their inner path. Yet the changes are slowly taking place as they filter into the outer body. These changes will certainly occur over time, however, they are taking place first on the inside at the cellular and DNA levels and also within the auric field. The refined base for the human form must first be rebuilt deeply from within the body, and as the frequency patterns of the etheric body are recalibrated, they will harmonize with those of the light body. In the future, you will see a greater exuberance and vitality, a lighter expression of movement, and of beingness. Many persons will feel taller. There may not be a noticeable shift in the physical body, but there will be a sense of upliftment. The body is expressing upliftment with a feeling of walking tall and feeling lighter. Some people will experience weight gain or loss as a result of inner transformation. The body knows how to readjust and reorganize itself quite naturally, because this process of transformation has been encoded within the memory seed atoms of the body. What people are now learning is how to better initiate and maintain the habits of spending more time outdoors, eating properly, being aware of their connection to the earth, and the direction in which their body is leading them. The greater awareness you have, the more you will be able to assist in the ongoing transformational process. Changes in the endocrine system and central nervous system. You are already seeing an increased weakening in the immune system with the acceleration of the frequencies within the nervous system. There are many new strains of disease manifesting within the world population. There will be more distress within the respiratory system as the body continues to try to throw off the impurities, and people will become less able to tolerate the impurities in the air. The increased pollution of the air and water resources has caused many of the physical problems the masses have experienced over the last 20 years or so. As the human vessel's light quotient increases, the physical body will become less and less tolerant of impure food, air, and water. More people are experiencing a deeper level of frustration and aggressive agitation, resulting in explosions of anger and violence. Over time, this powerful negative energy can also create many painful symptoms within the body. If the imbalances are in the nervous system, they can initiate various disorders within the emotional body makeup. Or this negative energy can create an imbalance within the mental body and brain wave systems when an intense readjustment in the thinking process begins. You will also see many new disorders or diseases cropping up having to do with the central nervous system. It is as if an internal rewiring must take place within the bodily vessel in order to accommodate the increased intensity of light. As your sensitivity increases, you may feel a rippling or vibrating sensation under the skin, or sometimes you may be able to sense the blood running through your veins. It is as though someone is attempting to place a 40 or 60 watt bulb in a socket built for a 120 watt light bulb. It is as if you suddenly have been connected to greater level of powerful, electromagnetic energy. The energy going through your body is accelerated and magnified, and this dramatically affects the nervous system. You will gradually become accustomed to these higher level frequencies of light, however, during the process it may be quite disconcerting. Unless there are some radical changes in the way many people are living their daily lives, the nervous system will not be able to handle the increased influx of energy. It would be helpful to have greater contact with the natural world, like putting your bare hands and feet on the ground, lying on the grass, or walking in a peaceful park. Also, spending more time around water, or in water, is very soothing and beneficial. These activities help to create greater balance within the electromagnetic field, and will also assist in the integration process. One of the first benefits will most likely be greater vitality, and a sense of well-being. The etheric body acts as a transmitter and receiver for inflowing energies, which are sent to the chakras or to specific energy centers. Each chakra is directly associated with an endocrine gland and nerve plexus. Because of their close relationship with the chakras, which transmit and receive this higher frequency energy, the endocrine and nervous systems, especially, are undergoing radical transmutation. During this process, all the organs and glands within the body will be totally restructured. As you take on the body of light, at some time in the distant future, most of these organs and glands will no longer be needed and they will gradually atrophy and disappear. In the meantime, it is important to acknowledge the changes taking place within your body, and to support all facets of yourself as much as possible. As more and more light becomes available, the intensity of the electromagnetic energy around you will also increase. This means that there will be more rapid neurological activity in the body, resulting in higher intensity impulses firing the central nervous system. The nervous system will immediately attempt to dissipate that energy by sending it back out of the spinal cord. If these impulses then fire along facilitated pathways into the muscular system, they could cause muscle tightness and soreness. If they fire into the blood vessels, restricted circulation often results. When these impulses fire into the skin, you may experience abnormal thermal sensations such as feeling hot or cold, prickling, itching, and so on. If they should fire into the organs and glands, they may inhibit their previously normal functioning. Therefore, we can see the importance of supporting the nervous system at this time as it tries to maintain a relatively stable state of equilibrium in the physical body. The body is trying to catch up with the increased frequencies of the subtle body. Meditation, deep breathing exercises, calming visualization, massage, and water therapies, along with gentle exercise, are recommended to help ease the stress within the body. The mutation process is implemented by the central nervous system, and initiated within the molecular brain structure. The progressive cycles of change are introduced primarily through the cerebral spinal fluid, and from their flow throughout the nervous system generally. During the mutation process, you will constantly be sloughing off whole strings or sequences of proteins. Various ancient components are being discarded by the body and new components are being rebuilt with differently structured compounds. The mechanisms through which you receive water, air, and food are also undergoing electromagnetic reformatting. You will find fairly high levels of excreted proteins in body fluids such as urine. The body is literally upgrading and or releasing your old body formatting and rebuilding it as you live, breathe, and move within it. The restructuring of the DNA means that, eventually, you will no longer have a four-bodily system. You will no longer have the same chakra system, and you will eventually have a unified consciousness. There will be no void spaces within your consciousness or within your corresponding DNA. In your future form, you will have a more spherical form with no gaps or separations. It is an indescribable thing that you are in the process of creating. As we go through cellular transformation, there will be times when you may feel disjoined, as if your body is out of sync with everything. You may feel more dysfunctional or inefficient as you release the old ways and before the new ways have been fully integrated. This change over a period of time will cause a tendency to have lower self-esteem. It will also stir up a variety of survival issues. You may need to use professional body workers to help you in releasing impacted energies. These energies are held in the crystalline matrix within the structure and tissues of your body. When bodywork is done in conjunction with sound, it is especially effective. Connective tissue work will also be useful, as will neuromuscular therapy. Bodywork such as this will help to repattern and realign your nervous system, and it will also break down any residual crystallized energy. There are many homeopathic remedies that you may try as well, such as bark remedies, that you may find supportive to your emotional and physical bodies. Eating habits. More people are becoming aware that they need to change their diet. The shift away from the denser foods is growing, and from rich foods, that are difficult to digest, and therefore stay in the body longer, thus creating greater density in the body. As cellular transformation progresses, your sustenance will be coming more and more from the light or energy vibrations, and less from material plane sources. Over time, many people will make dramatic changes in their eating habits and appetite. Many on the path have already discovered that heavy or greasy foods cannot be digested because the vibrations of these heavy foods are not compatible with the vibrations of the mutating body. You are being drawn to the foods that best harmonize with your frequencies as a human/spiritual being of light. For some people, this will mean sustaining themselves with very sparse diets and they will feel terrific. For others, the intake of food may be different. You will probably notice physical changes in your body that ultimately will lead to physical healing. Eat as many raw, and pure, unprocessed, and uncooked foods as you can. This means mostly fresh fruits and vegetables, which results in a basic detoxification diet. You must listen to the nudgings of your body elemental and eat what is right for you. Your body's needs will probably change rapidly during these times of great change. You may experience intense cravings for certain foods, some of which you may not normally eat. It is vitally important that you stay attuned to your body's intelligence, moment to moment, as it guides you to the foods and the support that it needs. In addition, you may occasionally experience disruption to the digestive system, resulting in stomach aches, diarrhea, and gas or bloating, partly due to the increased intensity of energy in the third or solar plexus chakra. The fifth, or throat chakra, is also a very powerful energy center, and its physical counterpart, the thyroid gland, is particularly vulnerable to changes in electromagnetic energy. This gland regulates the metabolic processes of the body, and in many cases is trying its hardest to keep up with the increasing vibratory rates. Some of the transmutation symptoms that commonly result are unexplained weight gain or loss, sluggishness, altered sleep patterns, and feeling more tired and fatigued than usual, for no apparent reason. Many people are being diagnosed with what has been named a metabolic disorder. This is primarily caused by the thyroid gland becoming overloaded while trying to keep up with the accelerated changes going on within the physical body. An emphasis on fresh fruits and vegetables is more important than ever. These light foods will help maintain a proper balance within the digestive system during these dramatic changes. Many people who are accustomed to a substantial meat diet are not ready to let go of these denser foods. However, many people will naturally change to lighter, more light-filled foods as their cellular transformation progresses. Also, some of the heavier grains may be too dense for your digestive system as the inner body changes occur. There are some very good nutritional substances that are from nature that create a balance in the amino acid tract. For instance, the food called spirulina is one of the foods called cell foods. These are foods with a high degree of life force energy, and they are very good on an overall general level. We suggest that using these new foods, or any types of supplements, be used only after receiving validation from one's own body wisdom. Honoring your body with pure and natural foods, as nature intended, is honoring the earth and the earth's offerings in a way that is without equal. After you cleanse your body, you will begin to strengthen and to heal any of the areas of your body that were weak or damaged. During cellular transformation, the body may require certain nutrients that it didn't need before, such as fats, proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and/or hormones. We would recommend that each person learn to turn inward and to reconnect with their bodily wisdom. It is advisable to decide on a daily basis what vitamins your body needs, and it is also important to take time to sense what your bodily needs are, for the day, before you randomly decide what to eat. One day, you might need a greater amount of carbohydrates, in one form or another, on another day you might need more protein, and so on. Your focus should be to create overall balance. Generally, it is important to listen then, to the body, and keep current with that information, so that you are functioning on a moment-to-moment, and a daily basis. This will gradually bring about a greater connectedness and awareness of your own individual bodily needs by learning to ask and then being open to your body's wisdom. Kinesiology is a great way to begin to tap into the wisdom of your higher self and your body elemental. Drinking habits. The quantity of water that you drink is also extremely important during transformation. The water you drink allows the electromagnetic energy to flow through your body, which is light harmonized to the frequency levels that are appropriate for each person as it enters the body mass. The more water you drink, the easier it is for the light energy to enter your body, and to move through the physical vessel in order to rejuvenate the organs. It would be wise during cellular transformation to drink as much water as possible. The additional water allows the light to move through the body faster and to penetrate deeper into the cellular structure. Light is an electrical force within our level of density, and the additional water assists in the integration of the light particles. There have been very significant fluctuations in the fluid retention levels within the bodily tissue, which are due to the need to keep the water content very high in mutating systems. In order for the mutation process to be as comfortable as possible, you will need to increase and maintain your intake of water. If you do not, your body will attempt to retain fluid in order to ensure that the chemical element flow within your system is maintained. Why is this important? It is because, during the mutation process you are constantly sloughing off whole strings or sequences of proteins. Full systems are being discarded, and rebuilt, with differently structured compounds, which you are receiving through water, air, and foods, that are also undergoing electromagnetic reformatting. In other words, you would find fairly high levels of excreted proteins in such body fluids as urine. You are literally washing away your old body formatting and rebuilding it as you live, breathe, and move within it. It is quite helpful for people to adopt a diet that contains more water, not only water in its pure form, but through fruits and vegetables as well. This creates a greater lightness in the body and helps the body to reorganize its electrical structure. It is really quite simple. The process involves a movement away from the density and complexities of what you have termed your modern world, in order to move into a greater state of purity through which you may receive the grace of transformation. Energy flow in the body. During cellular transformation within your bodily form, there will be increased energy flow, felt mainly in the parasympathetic system of the body and also in the shoulders. Electrical sensations will move up and down the limbs of the body. Some people will also experience power surges along with excessive perspiring and migraine headaches. Exercise habits. We have mentioned the importance of drinking lots of water during cellular transformation. It is also important to do more physical exercises like walking, jogging, running, hiking, and swimming, which will be extremely supportive during the changes. The benefits derived from dancing are also particularly powerful because many energetic pathways can be cut short and integrated throughout the body with the movement involved in dancing. Eyes. The white portion of the eyes may gradually change color, may become bloodshot, and may become slightly darker. In some cases, this may create a slight tinge of rosiness in the eyes or a slight tinge of brown or green, but in most cases the color will be rosiness. This change relates to the increased velocity of blood near the surface of the eyes. The visual field of the eyes will alter, and your peripheral vision may expand, whereby you have a more panoramic view. You will also begin the process of opening your inner vision, higher intuition, and telepathic communication skills, via the third eye and the sixth chakra, which is associated with the pineal gland. Hair. A change in the hair may occur, where there will be less hair on the body, however, the hair on the head will gradually become thicker. This change will be sufficient so that it will become measurable. Head. As you begin to reformat, there will be many mineral deposits that will slough off into the cerebrospinal fluid. This material will move into the spinal column, through the nerves, and out into the connecting tissue. As you discard this material, you may become very uncomfortable. In varying degrees, there will most likely be some disturbing sensations within the head, eyes, spine, and nervous system. The primary place where mutation is occurring is in the DNA of the brain. What this means is that certain brain functions are going to be a bit difficult. To some extent your hearing will be altered and, most of all, your ability to feel that you have a sharp focus all the time will be affected. Your heads are literally beginning to contain material that is capable of electrically short-circuiting. You have a sense that you are losing your mental clarity, that certain things are happening in your head that make you feel that you have short circuits within your brain, that is due to the sloughing off of this material. Mood swings are also symptomatic of the body's attempts to integrate more light. There may be moments when you feel wonderful and have a great deal of energy, followed by a sudden crash and depression, as you experience the pull of the old world. Hearing. The auditory range of the ears will expand, so that you will be able to hear the presently inaudible sounds of God's creation within you and that which surrounds you. This change will enable you to have faith in God, from hearing the sounds in your ears. Ringing, or tones in the ears, can also be transmissions from spiritual entities from other dimensions. Information from these sources makes itself known to you at the appropriate time in your particular spiritual walk. Heart. Heart palpitations may be felt at times as your heart becomes synchronized with the rhythm of the Earth's heartbeat. Changes may also be experienced in the heart muscle tissue, and the heart muscle tissue may begin to show more variations. The tissue will seem to be spreading out as the heart muscle becomes denser. This change will allow the heart to last longer and to create a normal life span of 150 years, for a spiritualized individual. The normal pulse rate will increase by about 3 to 4 beats over the next 10 to 15 years. You may see a greater constriction around the heart as many people react to the energy of love and light that is flowing in greater and greater magnification. More heart attacks or various illnesses will occur where there is restrictive flow of energy around the heart center. This can be avoided with more awareness of that energy and a greater openness to the emotional nature, letting go and finding ways for the emotions to be harmoniously experienced, lifted or released. Hot and cold flashes. These symptoms will be felt more often by many people as cellular transformation occurs in the body. It is as if your engine is being rebuilt, and the temperature gauge is being replaced. It is similar to an engine in a car with a worn-out temperature gauge. So, in a way, you are finding that as you are building new information into the body and into the cells, you are redesigning the different aspects of the physical body through this transformational process. As this is happening, you most likely will experience more upheaval. Much is being changed or discarded. You will find that many things are not working as they have in the past. Things that have become outdated. Many ways of functioning and living are being thrown out as new data and new equipment are gradually being introduced and built into the bodily form. This is happening for all beings, whether they are conscious of it or not. There are now and will be in the future those who do not choose to stay on the planet, although they may not be conscious of their choice. They have decided not to undergo this level of acceleration, and the extensive changes in the body. Those who are choosing to be here at this time during this rapid acceleration and shifting of the physical body, of the physical mind, and of the emotional system, are going to make those choices either consciously for many, or subconsciously for others. However, all will definitely be affected by the influx of higher frequency energies. All will experience on some level, a shifting in the physical vessel as the body moves naturally into a higher level of receptivity and alignment with the more refined levels of consciousness. Memory changes. Millions of people have had a soul merge and have become attuned to their oversoul higher self, which resides in the 8th chakra above the crown of the head, also called the soul star. Many have achieved a level of higher consciousness whereby they are now receiving telepathic or intuitive messages from their spiritual guides and teachers. Our sub-universe is being bombarded with the rarefied creator particles of light called adamantine particles, or the full-spectrum Metatronic light, for our quadrant of the universe. These powerful incoming impulses of energy are affecting the entire composition that makes up the human physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual blueprint. People are learning how to become efficient co-creators, and are beginning to manifest miraculous things on every level of materiality, while the masses and the earth continue to experience the chaos and devastation necessary to return the third and fourth dimensional world to an accepted level of balance and harmony. There will be times when you will be inspired with flashing memories, recall of past situations and lifetimes, which may help you to understand a present life situation, or some incident that needs to be resolved. Insights that are eternal and cosmic are beginning to infiltrate your consciousness as you tap into your own sacred mind and the storehouse of cosmic information, along with a historical record of your journey throughout time and space. The mental capacity of humanity will increase considerably during the cellular transformation process. However, you may also find yourself in the middle of a sentence when suddenly you completely forget what you were going to say next. You may be thinking about something that happened and then you have difficulty accessing the memory of the event. As you move into a state of grace, during cellular transformation, it will be more difficult to reference your past through your present memory system. Out-of-body experiences. There will be more out-of-body experiences as cellular transformation occurs. This type of experience will also be more readily accepted by the public in general. It will be accomplished by more people, and it will be accepted as a normal paranormal occurrence. It will also be more enjoyable. Out-of-body experiences have already been increasing for many as a result of the thinning in the veil. In the past, when a soul fragment decided to take on a physical body, there was a veil of forgetfulness put over their memory, and their connection to the higher realms. Many advanced souls are regularly experiencing a sense of having no physical body boundaries, along with a feeling of being pure spirit consciousness. As greater numbers of people consciously begin to follow the path of enlightenment and are receptive to the higher vibrational frequencies of their oversoul/higher self, the process of merging with the multiple facets of your higher self will accelerate dramatically. The restrictive veils of forgetfulness placed around the earth and the consciousness of humanity are rapidly dissolving. As your personal veil of remembrance dissolves, you will realize that there are no boundaries between your physical self, soul self, and the many facets of your higher self. Many are beginning to experience greater contact with their higher self, guides and teachers, and also with angelic realms, the great beings of light, and their soul families. Sinus and ear disturbances. Disturbances in these areas are one of the primary signs of cellular transformation. More people are experiencing sinus discomforts, drainage, and headaches. These increased disturbances will continue to occur during cellular transformation. Major changes will occur in the sinuses, since one of their functions is to help create balance in conjunction with the inner ear mechanisms. These changes relate mainly to the fact that the body has been thrown out of balance during this phenomenal phase of cellular transformation. Your physical body will become more sensitive to toxins, pollens, and pollutants. Flu-like symptoms, sinusitis and congestion, specific aches and pains, and feelings of toxicity may be other reactions you will experience from the increased intensity of incoming energy. When these disturbances happen, the body is reaching a threshold. It will pass beyond this threshold as the body's capacity to handle more light increases. During these times, it will be especially useful to take more baths and to drink lots of water. This will help your body to integrate these changes more easily. Swimming will also be helpful in this instance, since water is very soothing and relaxing as well as being useful in balancing your energy. It may seem as if many are becoming allergic to the third-dimensional environment. Sleep and dreams. Those who are serious about awakening to their genius potential, as bearers of light, are accessing the higher levels of fourth dimension at the present time, and many advanced souls are tapping into the vibrational patterns of the lower and mid-planes of the fifth dimension. Remember, there are 7 sub-planes to every dimension within our sub-universe. This is creating temporary confusion with respect to time. Some people may also periodically experience vertigo, and perhaps a problem with depth perception when walking on uneven ground or brightly colored, geometrically patterned carpet. You may sometimes have dreams that are erratic and strange, and at times you may wake up feeling quite emotionally confused. Your sleep patterns might be totally disrupted at times. Perhaps you have habitually slept 7 to 8 hours a night, until recent times. Now you are struggling to get 5 or 6 hours sleep, and you do not understand why. Everyone is going to notice some difference or disruption in their sleep patterns as the higher frequency light bombards the earth in greater and more intense waves. You might find yourself sleeping many more hours than usual and perhaps needing to take a nap during the day. At other times you may require very little sleep, but you still have an abundance of energy. You will eventually gain the awareness that the more light you bring into your physical body, the less sleep you will need. It is important that you learn to use the new infusion of energy and the extra time appropriately. Be assured that your higher self will nudge you to use this gift of time and energy for a higher purpose. Time is speeding up, as the Earth and humanity move forward and beyond the limitations of the third and lower fourth dimensions, into the more fluid and expansive reality of the higher fourth and lower fifth realms of existence. At times, you may find that you are in a power struggle within yourself. It will be as if part of you is anchored in the fourth dimension and is trying to live in one way, while the rest of you is stuck in the third dimension and attempting to continue living as in the past. Your dreams might seem jumbled and distorted at times because your consciousness is shifting back and forth between various densities. Your dreams are a reflection of your attempts to gain and maintain a multidimensional consciousness. Sometimes your dreams are so sharply detailed they leave an indelible imprint on your mind, and you remember them clearly. These dreams are usually visions of importance that your higher self wants you to remember. Then, at other times, you wake up feeling exhausted from a hectic night of jumbled and intense dreams, although you can remember nothing specific about them. It is advisable to cut down on the time you watch television or listen to radio commentaries. Some people may even become very sensitive to music, and feel more at peace and comfortable, in a quiet atmosphere with no outside input or entertainment. You may find that your eyes have become sensitive to bright lights, and many are finding that they definitely cannot use an electric blanket or heating pad as in the past. Part of what is happening is this: as the electromagnetic frequencies of light continue to increase in intensity, those who are capable of integrating these higher frequency light infusions will become more sensitive to external stimulus. Your mutating bodily form will become more capable of receiving and integrating huge amounts of creator light, and you will not require or enjoy as much external stimulation as in the past. Sweat and tear glands. Changes in the tear ducts and sweat glands of the body will take place during cellular transformation. Many men and women are experiencing intense heat, which results in heavy perspiration, while the skin may feel cold and clammy to the touch. This phenomenon occurs as the Kundalini fire within the root chakra starts to rise up through the chakra system, via the etheric rod of power, which runs from the root to the crown chakra, and next to the spinal column. These have been called power surges, and are more intense than the hot flashes that many women experience later in life. These power surges will slow down and become less intense as you gradually become accustomed to the higher frequencies of God light. As to the tear glands, your tear solution will be slightly denser as it will contain more mineral compounds during the cleansing process. During an intense emotional cleansing, you may have some periods when you will cry over small things that never bothered you before. Tears are cleansing and help to release impacted emotional energy. Many people have been taught that it is a sign of weakness to cry or show emotion. Your heart chakra is going to burst open during this process of opening the gateway to your etheric sacred heart. Opening the 7 seals to higher consciousness is the process of the Kundalini fire, stored within the root chakra, rising up through the 7 chakras to connect with your soul star and your oversoul/higher self. This is when you connect with the rainbow bridge, or the river of light and life, which contains the pure creator light that we have been seeking. Vibrations within the body. Some people are experiencing vibrations in their solar plexus, and in the heart chakra area from time to time, which can eventually affect the entire bodily form. These vibrations will increase over time, as people integrate higher and higher frequencies and the physical vessel attempts to adjust to the new vibrational patterns of light. This is another one of the many changes occurring during the mutation and cellular transformation of the human form. The Earth also is experiencing these vibrational changes, which are designed to refine the very matter of the planet's physical makeup, as well as the physical vessel of each and every human being. These changes will slowly add certain etheric components which you left behind in the higher realms, as you refracted your magnificent self into many sparks of divinity so that you could fulfill your co-creative mission within the lower realms of the universe. Some people are experiencing many different physical symptoms at once, which can be very strong at times and very subtle at other times. Within this last 200 years there have been more evolutionary changes taking place within the physical bodies of human beings than there have been since the Earth was first inhabited. These transformational changes are taking place within and on the surface of the Earth as well. The very cellular structure of your body is changing, which will allow you to withstand and integrate the higher frequencies of life-giving energy of the present and the future. Your body will require a lot of attention and tender loving care during these amazing times of transformation. That is why it is so important to share your experiences with others within your sphere of influence who are in the midst of the process with you. You do not have to make this journey alone. That is why your beloved teachers, guides and angelic helpers are ever near to guide, direct and inspire and protect you. Remember, all judgments regarding things such as bodily aches and pains, clothing, food, sexual orientation, interactions with others, religious beliefs, and so on, will affect your physical body and the mutation process going on within and around you. The vibrational frequencies of judgment, anger, fear, or limitation will insidiously affect the balance and harmony you are endeavoring to create within your bodily form and your personal reality. This low-frequency energy will make the mutation process more difficult, painful, and possibly depressing, if you continue the negative practice of judging yourself and others. It is vitally important that you strive for and practice self-love and self-acceptance, as well as acceptance of others, no matter where they are on the path. It is important that you strive to create a balanced and harmonious environment, within and around you, so that you may journey forth with ease and grace. There is nothing that will be taken away from you without your consent during this cellular transformation process. These changes can only take place personally, when you make the free will choice to seek the light and a reunion with the many facets of your God self. When you make the conscious choice to reconnect with your soul self and begin the process of ascension, your greatest desire will be to increase your capacity for God light. Ascension means returning to an accepted level of balance and harmony within your physical, mental, emotional, and etheric bodies, so that you may begin the journey back into the higher realms of existence, your true home. As you achieve an expanded awareness of universal law and cosmic wisdom, you will gain a capacity for love, not only for your personal family but for all humanity. As you gain self-mastery and a higher state of consciousness, peaceful coexistence with all beings will be your goal, along with an intense desire to be of service. No longer will people be able to maintain the status quo. Every adult must make a choice to either seek the light, or to ignore the whisperings of their soul as they spiral deeper into the shadowlands of the imbalanced third-fourth dimensional world of existence. The separation between those living in the light, and those struggling within the limitations, fear, and chaos of the old reality, is swiftly widening. We have more information, guidance, and access to the components of creation, along with the means to reclaim our spiritual sovereignty than we have had since we first stepped onto the earth in our beautiful light bodies. It is our personal choice as to whether or not we take advantage of this grand, unprecedented opportunity.